investor, chances are you've had a property or two where things didn't quite turn out as planned. Here at Easy Street Capital, we see many investors, especially our fix and flip borrowers, who have a great strategy. They make renovations using a hard money loan, and the renovations turn out great. And then D-Day, or perhaps more aptly, A-Day, comes for every fix and flipper. Appraisal day, it's here, it comes, and before you know it, you have an appraisal that is far below what you had anticipated, budgeted, and planned for. Maybe some renovations had to be scratched due to being over budget, or maybe the market has just gone south. I mean, this is totally out of your control as an individual. We have many hardworking investors who walk through our door in this very predicament. And today, I'm going to explain to you and give you a real-life example of a borrower who worked with us recently and came to us in this exact position, and how he was able to transform a fix and flop into a cash-flowing short-term rental property. So the borrower in this case, Matthew, decided to purchase a property for $120,000 on a fix and flip in late 2021 in Pasadena, Texas, which is just outside of Houston. He budgeted his $4,800 for property renovations, and he came to our hard money loan program and secured a 6-month, $137,000 loan at an 8.9% interest rate and a $31,000 down payment. Now, this included $39,000 available in draws for rehab. Now, having over 5 prior flips, Matthew was experienced, and he anticipated a $210,000 after repair value, or ARV. Now, renovations, they were going well, and in early 2022, the property was complete and ready for appraisal prior to listing. But, largely due to market conditions at the time, the appraisal came back at $173,000, which essentially meant a break even or even a slight loss for Matthew on his 6 months of hard work and invested capital, should he continue to go through with this flip, this sale of the property. Let's walk through the math on what Matthew's potential return on investment could have looked like if he continued along with this flip. So let's assume that Matthew was able to sell his property at $180,000, which is $7,000 above the appraised value. Assuming a 3.5% closing fee incurred by Matthew, this leaves him with a $173,700 cash inflow from the sale. Now, in total, Matthew paid $168,000 for the property purchase and rehab, and about $6,096 in interest expense for the 6-month loan term. So this leaves his total cost at $174,000.96, meaning that a sale of the property would result in a net financial loss of $5,700. Of course, this is on top of his 6 months of lost time. I mean, this is not good at all. But being the savvy investor that he is, Matthew realized that holding on to the property and turning it into a short-term rental would be a much better decision than trying to sell in this deteriorating market. So what he did is he transitioned his strategy from a fix and flip to an Airbnb. So what did he do? He came back here to Easy Street. He got into contact with our DSCR loan division. It's called Easy Rent. And for those of you unfamiliar with this loan product, DSCR loans basically largely qualify based off their debt service coverage ratio, meaning the rental income divided by the PITIA, which is just an acronym for the expenses of the property. And this sort of determines how well a property is able to cash flow. Now, there are 3 types of DSCR loans: one for property acquisitions, one for cash out refinances, and one for rate term refinances, which is what Matthew decided was the right option for him in this sort of pivot from a flip to a short-term rental. Now, DSCR loans, they've especially gained popularity with rehab investors due to the February 2023 decision by Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. I mean, this decision, what it did is it increased the minimum seasoning time. Basically, that just means the time of purchase between the property and an actual refinance from 6 months to 1 full year. So unlike Matthew's options back in early 2022 when he was going through this process, now the conventional refinance route is no longer a good option for rehab investors, which makes DSCR loans and other non-conventional financing the most reliable refinancing options. For example, here at Easy Street, we require that potential borrowers hold the property for as little as 3 months after purchase until we're able to sort of discuss these refinancing options. So speaking of refinancing, let's take a look at the math on Matthew's refinance. So in Matthew's case, Easy Street was able to provide him with a $112,000 rate term refinance with a 30-year fixed rate at 7.45%. Now, after rehab, the property generated a projected rental income of $1,850 a month. Now, his monthly principal and interest payments totaled $782.42, and his monthly PITIA, which includes its principal, interest, taxes, and insurance fees, came out to $1,193.42. So this means that Matthew's DSCR, or debt service coverage ratio, was at 1.55. This is good. This is a qualifier for great loan terms, and he had a net monthly cash flow of $657 on a roughly $170,000 property. So this means that not only is Matthew not losing money on the property, he's actually bringing in an additional income stream per month after covering all associated expenses with the property and its loan. Now, he's also, of course, gradually increasing his equity stake from 35% of the property initially as it goes over time as he pays down this debt. So by staying flexible, Matthew was able to turn a potential fix and fail into a reliable monthly money machine. So that wraps up this video on how, with flexibility and the right lending partner, real estate investors can couple the power of hard money and DSCR loans to use a BRRRR strategy to create success in spite of poorly executed rehabs, or in this case, just bad selling market conditions. If you have any tips for making the most of a fix and flop, or you found success and flexibility similar to Matthew, drop your story in the comments below. And as always, be sure to like and subscribe to Easy Street Capital on YouTube for more industry insights.